Enough. All right. Happy noontime, everybody. I mean, it's Wednesday, July 23rd, and we're calling to order the finance committee meeting. Tony, would you take roll call, please? Okay, Michael Fassel.
Here.
John Timmerman.
Here.
Susan Ceramic. No. Les Rifkin. No. Regina Latour, let's just walk in.
Here.
Okay, Regina's here. Richard Hamilton.
Here.
John David Burnett, sorry. Rick Streets here. Cookie Courier. Joanne Goodchum.
Here.
Paulette Burdick.
Here.
Laura Bedford. Okay. Don's not here. Joanne is here. Tony's here. David is here. Bruce is here. I don't see. Patricia's on here. Probably is here. You have a form. Thank you so much. Hopefully the minutes have been perused and I would entertain a motion.
I vote for accept.
Richard seconds. Please vote. Are there any corrections, deletions, changes to the minutes? Just in John's name.
It's right, it's right.
Two ends.
Yes.
Not wrong. Sorry about that.
The editor should not be wrong.
It shouldn't be, but it is. You can do the half corrections. Except as.
That's last name should be one signature. Oh, yeah.
We should be that. This is really gonna be the shortest, hopefully, meeting. I canceled the last couple of months' meetings purposely because we have been working. The whole officers, all of the officers got involved, trying to help me work out this reserve study. And we finally came to an agreement. We've been going back and forth with submitting all the information. And we do have a document, it's 106 pages. It is incorrect. I'm going to show it to you just by sharing it, share the screen and show you the nature of the document. We came to an agreement with the vendor, this just a couple of days ago, and before the end of the week, you all will be getting a copy of this document. And that's where next month's meeting is going to be very detailed. We're gonna really slog through it. And in the meantime, as you go through the document, any questions, just email them. So we can put things together and I can come up with an agenda to really look at this very critically. Because it's gonna mean a complete overhaul of how the reserves. Right now, if you look, the reason I printed this out is just to look at the last bit of it that shows you the reserves on the very last page. I just wanted to point out the way that we list out the reserves right now. See, we've got pooled reserves. We're not like the 718 association rules where you have to go item by item according to predetermined formula. We pool our resources for management purposes for running the business. We have them out this way. Now, really, why do we have a copy machine reserve? That to me it's just part of the office infrastructure.
I'm gonna tell you why, because they used to lease a machine.
I know.
And at one point, it was suggested that we could buy a machine. And just pay for the regular maintenance, and it would cost us 1/3 of what it would cost to buy a machine.
And that was how many years ago?
Supposedly at least 4 or 5 years.
You know what I'm saying? We left it because we've never really revamped these reserve categories. It's not a case of the money, it's a case of, let's just redo this with some professional engineering behind it. And the company that we've engaged has had, they're all over the country. They do this for many, many, many organizations. So I really have a lot of faith in what they do. And so let's redo how we're looking at reserves. And then come up with a schedule for the next 30 years. What should we be doing with the infrastructure? Like when should we be doing the roadways? When, we're also proposing a big irrigation revamp if. You know, if the organization wants to go in that direction. So there's gonna be a lot of discussion in the next couple of meetings. Of how, and next month, Chris will have the first pass of our 2026 budget. So we're gonna start putting some, numbers to the budget for next year with this reserve study information in mind. So what I'm gonna do is share just a little bit on the screens of what this reserve study will look like. I'm not gonna go through 106 pages, so they have the world's shortest meeting to. You get this, it's from Association Reserves. And of course, there's just a lot of fluff in the beginning, and you'll see the table of contents is quite extensive. Pay no attention to these numbers that I'm putting up right now, these will be totally revised. But it will have this format to it. And it has, just a lot of verbiage about what the whole point of all of this is. But now, we get down here, here's the useful part. You're gonna see all these categories. And it's what the useful life is for these types of things. And what the remaining useful life of those that we have of those things. Like the roadways, and I know I'm going through this very quickly, but it's huge, it's very extensive. So that's where we're gonna be working on all these different categories here. Instead of just the few arbitrary ones, and we're gonna come up with some. In this case, there's 55 total funded categories. We can boil that down and we'll come to a boiled down group of, like the laundry area. That'll be one number in our financial report for our budgeting. And then there's just a lot more verbiage that you'll have time to read. And then we get down to the actual inspection information that created the proposal that they're giving us. And all of the annual reserve funding requirements. And again, I don't want to go through this because these numbers are completely skewed at the moment. So let me get back to. Sorry, I can't get. I'm not good at getting this up on the screen. I to the rest of you Zoom better than I do. But that, just so that you sort of get an overview of the numbers that I'll be sending as soon as they send it to me. And assuming that it's correct, because from what we spoke about, it sounds like it will be, and we'll be reviewing that. Here in the office, just to be sure it's right. And really, that was all I wanted to talk about, unless somebody has some other information that they want to bring to the finance committee. I just really wanted to bring your attention to that document that I will be sending.
No, this is that you're sending, I wrote down that you'll be emailing.
Yeah,
Which one's the,
yeah.
okay, I just have to make
If
sure.
anyone wants it printed, because it's a lot of paper and ink, it's 100, right now it's 106 pages. You let me know and I'll print it up here in the office, no problem. So that's
Different subject.
Did Seacrest ever send you the money?
Seacrest ever send you for your association?
For all the Yuko? Money said they owe. Seacrest said that sent you money the last time we spoke to you.
Yeah.
Well, it was,
That's Stratford.
Seacrest sends us money every day, Russ, I'm not sure which.
So you're talking about Seacrest.
Yes.
Well, pretty much, I mean, pretty much, we're never really caught up totally with any, you know what I mean, it's an ongoing thing. What, I guess what I should probably answer that by saying. It is not that I know of a problem. Between us and Seacrest at any point, at this point, I don't see. It's bookkeeping between the associations and Seacrest.
So it was just on Stratford. That was a question.
It was, well, there's one issue that you know of with Stratford. There's some others that we're working with the associations, but it's not a Seacrest problem with UConn. Yeah. Richard,
Will the email be color coded as that was?
it'll be just like that.
Okay, good. And
Yes. Right,
the last column was annual cost, is that annually? It said.
Well, let's wait till we get it.
Okay.
We'll tear it
I
apart
can look at it
individually. John?
I probably asked the question, I guess, a couple of meetings back, but. Your personal opinion or the opinion of the. Of UCO on this reserve study. It was a good reserve study and we're happy with it.
Now I'm happier. Would you say you're happy with it?
The original was incomplete.
Yeah.
And again, this is a complex place.
Yeah.
And they try to put like a boilerplate on it.
Mhm.
So they needed input from Joanne, myself and Donald, the things that came out to us, and we've been trying to get them to fix it.
Yeah.
And we finally reached to them and they finally said, oh, okay, we'll do that. And
they
that was
feel
on
that
Monday.
On
Right,
Monday.
that was
Yeah.
exactly on Monday.
Yeah, we've been back and forth. I mean, there was.
And the company itself feels that we're in good shape. And we feel.
Yes.
Way better than anyone expected.
That's what I want to say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, way better. No, we're in very good shape.
Okay.
And I think, how we go forward from here is just the question, how do you prioritize? There's one big item that the irrigation needs to be talked about.
Yes.
And that will be a whole community discussion. And it's got to do with our irrigation system, the most boring kind of stuff in the world. However, if we don't get it right, everything gets ugly, So when we get the new study, I just want you to understand, you're gonna see a big number. It's $14 million. And I think it bears looking at, because don't let it shock you.
Mhm.
Because we're talking about a 30-year budget. So $14 million over 30 years is not the end of the world. And it's not gonna, oh my God, my assessments are gonna go through the roof. No. We want very much to make sure we're doing the right thing. And that's a discussion, and I'll be doing some number crunching to show you why I think it's a good idea. On a purely, financial basis. So, that's where we're headed. That's it. Yeah.
Several years ago, we had someone come in and ask them to redesign our irrigation system. Currently, we have 27 pumps that pump water to all the association. The new system calls for 4 pumps to do the same work that's being done by 27. So that would eliminate a lot of maintenance work. Right now, there's always a pump that goes down.
Mhm.
If you have 4 pumps to deal with, it's a lot better than 27.
You're talking about the water that runs into the unit?
No, this is just the irrigation.
Oh, for the
Just
landscape.
just for landscaping and stuff like that. So that's why it's a big number, because it would actually be redesigning everything that we have.
Yeah.
Okay, including the pumps.
But when you look at what what we're paying to maintain those
Right.
27 pumps on a monthly basis, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, all told. And it's going up because they get old, we have to replace them, they
Mhm.
get older, there's 27 of them, yeah. And it, you just look at it and you're, you know, it doesn't make dollars and cents. Even though it's a big scary number, it's a bigger scarier number if you actually look at what we've been spending. Seems like we're just, you know, throwing it away. Richard,
It's the same as with you just mentioned, the copy machine. There's an initial outlay,
Right.
but then you save a ton.
right,
Secondly, any instructions or insights that you could accompany the email with would be appreciated.
sure. Sure. But then, I think that, you know, in the coming months, once we get this out and I get it disseminated to everybody, you know, we can, and if anybody wants to call like an interim meeting, you know, right away, I'm more than happy to do that too. Because, you know, we don't have to wait for the monthly meeting. If the whole committee wants to meet again.
Like a workshop.
Yeah, sort of a workshop for just that reserve study. You know, we could do that too. I'm open to any of it, because to me, this is, you know, how you go forward, and it will kind of point you in the direction of how year over year to be scheduling maintenance and scheduling, instead of just, you know, every once in a while going, hey, Donald, guess what? You gotta go do this. Hey, Donald, you gotta go do that. And it, you know, it's not fair. It's not fair to a property manager to just constantly barrage him with things all of a sudden. If you have a schedule that you're saying, okay, this year we're gonna do this, this, and this, and maybe he needs a few extra hands some years. Other years, maybe it's light and he can handle it all by himself. Well, we should, as a finance committee, as an organization, give him direction of how we want the place maintained, and here's the money to do it, here's the budget, so. Anyway, that's my doing.
Is there a benefit to having 27 pumps?
There is no benefit to having
Like you have to
27.
shut off a certain building, but if you have so many on one.
It's more, the more parts that you have, the more failure rate you could have,
Is it
and it's
because,
more maintenance.
is it because there used to be wells?
Some people were on wells, like
That's not-
Greenbrier, Southampton, and other associations were on wells.
Yeah, and they dried up.
And then
And they kept, well,
yeah, eventually they wanted to tie in.
the whole thing is a patchwork quilt over 50 years.
And I think
Goldberg.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
my understanding that there were 27 pumps originally, that there may be, I think there was 19 or 20 or 22. And then some of the water couldn't reach the associations. So other stations were put into place to make sure that enough water got to them. That's how we got to 27. I mean, some of those pumps used to be $1,100, $1,200, they're now 3,000, right? 3,300, some of those,
Sure.
some of those pumps. So, and that's over in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I noticed that last year, we
Yeah.
started looking and I was like, what the heck, why are we paying all this money? Take it out of infrastructure, this is not operating, because it kept going up and on, it's not an operating expense. But so that was part of it, but anyway, that's my spiel for today. Stay tuned, keep in touch.
Just a little question, I don't know too much about the irrigation, but these 27 pumps, are they located in one spot or this?
No, they were throughout the village.
All over.
So if we do with the 4 pumps, would they be at a central?
The gentleman, the engineer that engineered it would be similar to the 4 quadrants that you had, the village is divided into 4 quadrants.
Okay.
Of course, the pumps, you wouldn't have a 20 horsepower motor, you might have a bigger motor to
Mhm.
be able to service it. But that's how he engineered it. He engineered it by dividing the village into 4 quarters and putting one major pump in each unit, in each quadrant. And work from there.
And what's gonna be the source?
Same source that we have now.
Okay.
Waterways.
Yeah, we were having a lot of failures. We were having a lot of failures and because the people that were maintaining were not maintaining the pumps. And when we left that company and we took it over, we found pumps missing, pumps that were broken and not fixed, whatever, so we had to do a lot of catch-up work. Somewhere along the line, there's a book with about 100 pictures of stuff that we found. You know, rotted out electrical boxes, pumps that were just dismantled and put on the floor, you know, just left there. So gradually, we had to not only fix the electrical and stuff, but actually rebuild and replace some of the pumps.
Wow.
It was a long process. It was,
Yeah,
it was almost like a year and a half to get a process.
it's a big deal. And, you know, we should discuss it. It should be part of the ongoing maintenance of the community. Anyway, that's it. Anything else? Any old business to revisit? Don't know of any new business other than this? Anything? Anything for general discussion? Good. Entertain a motion.
Yeah, Richard's got a question.
Are you correct?
Yeah, no, I
I
don't.
can always touch. His left eye first is out.
Will there be, maybe it's too early to ask, any conflict between if we accept the breeze line proposal and then the irrigation, the construction, the digging and.
Well, let me do it this way, there's two totally separate projects. And the irrigation, being such a large project, would probably not be funded in the very near future. I can't see that we would fund that with our current reserves. Yeah, we have 14 million,
Wow.
but what if something else happens? You know, so we will fund it over a 30-year period. Where in that 30-year period are we gonna hit? The place where, that's where this study, we have to look at where it's gonna hit. The broadband is totally operating. That's got nothing to do with the long range planning. That, if it happens, would be the next 18 months. The pumps will not happen then,
Oh, okay, good.
and any time near it, I can't.
Digging.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't, can you imagine? And I don't see, in other words, those pumps are working. We're paying for them.
Yeah.
We don't have to go do this, we could just keep kicking that can down the road like everyone else has been doing, and that's fine too. But the suggestion that has been made is it would be more efficient and in the long term, more economical to go with a more modern, up-to-date system. So
In terms of cash flow, it might make sense to.
it's getting there,
operationalize
yes, it's getting there.
Each pump and
Well, you have the mechanical end, every pump has electricity going to it.
Yeah.
So you now have 27 meters. You have all these pieces that are gonna, and to minimize those. To cut down, it would eventually cut down the expenses.
Yeah.
At one point, we're gonna be spending more money than what it's worth to repair.
I'm saying it might make sense to operationalize one quadrant at a time.
Well,
Instead of trying to do all 40%.
Well, that would be part of the.
but that's something,
consideration.
right, that would be
Yeah.
something that the engineer, because when the root Goldberg that's underneath here, trust me.
Yeah,
I mean, the only reason why we found where most of these lines were is because there was somebody that was working with the company that actually mapped it all out. And there are lines running, we didn't even know that part of when they started building the golf course. At one point, I forgot who the CAM was, that to bring water to Greenbrier and Southampton, they went on the golf course.
Yeah.
Because it was too expensive to run down East Drive.
Right.
So we just spent a whole bunch of money taking our water lines out of the golf course to bring water to the 6 buildings back there.
Pennywise, pound foolish.
Have no problem.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, these are the type of things that they did, there was nobody watching. The wolf was in the hen house,
Thanks.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
we're trying to bring things up to date. That's all. Otherwise, hearing.
Well, the meeting?
I move we adjourn.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, you know.
All right, Regina, thank you for dialing in.
You're welcome. It's nice to see everybody.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good day.
Welcome.
Yes.